All right, y'all. So in the last video, I discussed with you real quick about I talked real quick with you guys about being married and wedding are two different things, totally two different things. And my video time died, so I'm just gonna pick up where I left off and make it and keep it as brief as possible. So again, marriage, getting married, right, is the outward display, right? It's the ceremonial, the rites and rituals, traditions to display to the state so that you can be acknowledged as a legal union. However, wedding is the fusion process. The word wed, synonym for the word wed is fusion. So wedding is the fusing or fusion process. We find that in nuclear fusion, which is the sciences, when you study physics, you find that fusion in terms of atoms fusing, because we have to, in order for us to understand ourselves, we have to understand the science, right? I made that a part of the video last time, that we are the science, we are the particles, we are the atoms, the neutrons, electrons. These are the things that these are our constituent makeups, right? These are the things that we are constituted, we're composed of. So we can't alienate or ignore these things scientifically. So when two atoms fuse or come together, to the two atoms representing two people, when two people come together, they're in proximity, and they actually get married on paper. There is a legal document that says they're married. However, in terms of the science, they are not yet married. They are not yet fused. They are not yet wedded. You know, married, another word for marriage we know is wedding or wedlock, right? So in terms of the wedlock aspect, they're not fused. They're not fused. Just because they're married on paper, they have not yet to fuse. You can be fused before the physical documents or the physical display of marriage. You can be fused before the physical display of marriage, meaning you can be with somebody for years, right? You have not yet to physically marry them on paper, but you have fused with them in terms of the science. From the scientific perspective, you're fused, but you haven't consummated the marriage legally. And the same holds true for the reverse. You can consummate the marriage legally on paper, but not fuse with that person. And when you're not fused with the person, this is why divorce rates are so high. People will tell you they're divorced because of incompatibility. The number one reason I've based on my research is incompatibility. Adultery was number 2, and I believe number 3 was financial issues. Then like number 4 was arguing and bickering. Number 5, like there's a plethora, a number of reasons. And at the top 3 was incompatibility, adultery, and finances. I believe in that order. And it's a generalization. It varies for different people, different folks, different strokes, whatever. But that's generally what it was. But I've come to find out, studying the sciences, that those are not the reasons why we divorce. And I'm in a chapter right now where I'm dedicating my research and my insight into this, why you divorce. We don't divorce because of those reasons: adultery, incompatibility. No, those are the products of the divorce. Those are the products of the causes, excuse me. They're not the products of divorce. Those are the products of the causes of the divorce. Those are the products. Products meaning those are the results. Incompatibility. Why are you not incompatible, right? You have to look behind why you're not compatible, because we're talking about after you marry. We're not talking about before. After you're married, you find out you're not compatible. Okay, cool, whatever. We're not going to judge you on that. But there's a reason for that incompatibility. And this is where the science comes in. Okay, lack of financial, whatever, stability. There's a reason for that. There's a cause for that. There's something behind that. Okay, adultery, someone cheats. And so those are not the causes for the divorce. Those are the results. They're the results of a deeper issue behind them, and the deeper issue behind them, it's levels to it. There's sub levels, right? There's sub units to units. It's like, think you're in a building and you can go down to the first floor. You're on the 10th floor. You take the elevator down to the first floor. We can stop there and say, okay, we came down to the first floor, but there's a basement. And then within that basement, there's another basement. And then within that, you know what I'm saying? It's a rabbit hole. You can keep going deeper and deeper. But for sake of our sanity and not going crazy, we'll accept that the reason for the divorce is financial instability, it's adultery, it's lack of communication, breakdown of communication, whatever. But scientifically, So I'm writing, and in my book, I'm going beyond all of that. I am taking you deep into the rabbit hole. I am going deeper beneath the superficial or beneath the physical. I'm going to what's called the metaphysics, and I'm finding out the reason for the divorce is not none of those things put forth. It's actually the what's called the nuclear weak force. Remember, you can't. It's inescapable to remove ourselves or detach ourselves from science. And also it's also important that we understand that the universe runs its course. It runs its course means it starts, it continues, and it ends, right? So the reason for the divorce is there's four fundamental forces, and you can, when you get my book, I'll go more in detail. I'm just gonna keep it brief. There's four fundamental forces that keeps everything together. The universe operates off of four fundamental forces. One, gravitational force. We all know what that is. Gravity keeps everything on the earth. Then you have the strong force, strong nuclear force. You have the weak force, and you have the electromagnetic force. Those are the four forces of the, and there's the strongest to the weakest. But of those forces, again, time won't allow me to go into all of them, but the weak force, the weak interactive force, is what's responsible for what's called beta decay or radioactive decay. It's what scientists use, archaeologists use to do carbon dating, right? The weak nuclear force is what breaks down elements in the universe. It changes elements, pretty much. It changes the elements. Now again, there's like volumes of literature and writings and readings about this, but I'm just trying to give you in a short version, so forgive me if I don't give you it adequately enough. But just know the weak force is responsible for the breaking down, the erosion, the corrosion of elements in the universe. That's the real reason why we divorce. Behind all of what we say, the soft PC answers, that is the real scientific explanation. And I'll go in depth in detail in my book to explain how that works bit by bit, step by step, and how you can, the only way to avoid it is not to get into it. There is no avoiding it, because the universe, again, is going to organize itself. It's going to rearrange its pieces, and we are its pieces to where we need to be. So we have volition, which is our free will to act. And this is why we do get married. This is why we do buy that house. We do this. We have free will to do these things. However, the universe is going to always restore its natural order. And that's the reason why so many, the divorce rates is right now, as it stands currently, is between 40 to 50%, close to 50%. All 50% of all marriages end in divorce. So the only way to avoid it, though, is not to get into it, because you can't beat the universe, if you get what I'm saying. And so I'm not saying not to get married. What I am saying is that this is why it's imperative, absolutely necessary, that we do take our time with these things, right? And I'm speaking to myself, because I've been married, divorced, all kind of, you know what I'm saying? I've been through it. So it lost not one but two homes. Like I've been through it. You know what I mean? And my way of handling it is writing this book about it. So yeah, I'm going keep you guys up to date on when the book is ready and when it's coming out. Till next time, peace.